Candace in just a little bit, but first, the kids are back in school, but maybe they're struggling with homework and studying.
That's right. So joining us once again in studio with some tips is licensed psychologist Dr. Nicole Beurkens. Dr. Beurkens, good to see you again.
Thank you for having me.
So last hour, of course, we tackled the idea of maybe helping the kids with their studying habits.
Yep.
And one of the things you talked about maybe is avoiding the multimedia tasking, right?
Yeah, that's a big one. You know, as electronic devices have become more and more a part of all of our lives, but especially kids' lives, there have been studies that have come out showing that media multitasking, which basically means just using more than one form of media at a time, really impairs our brain function. So for kids especially, when they're doing homework or doing anything where they need to have focused attention, the more devices and things they have out and are working with, the poorer their memory is going to be, their retention for things, their focus. So it really needs to be a rule with kids that they're using one device at a time. So I know that for homework, especially at the older grades now, they're using, you know, their tablet or their laptop or whatever. The focus needs to be on that then, and not also having the smartphone out next to the computer, having the television on.
Calculator.
That's exactly right, because then it's like, well, I'm just going to scroll here while I'm sort of half listening to the video I'm supposed to be watching and trying to memorize this. And really what the studies show is that that makes learning very, very ineffective. So focusing on one device at a time is really important.
And also important, movement.
Yeah.
Literally getting up and moving your body, right?
Absolutely. And this is counterintuitive because a lot of parents and adults in general go, sit down and focus and do your homework, get your studying done. But actually what we know from neuroscience research is that movement is really supportive for helping us to be able to focus, retain information. So sitting for extensive periods of time, especially for kids, is not a good strategy for efficiently getting homework and studying done. For younger kids, elementary age kids, we want them to be up and moving about every 20 to no more than 25 minutes. That's about their sittability length for where their brain development is at. So getting up, doing some jumping jacks, going outside for a few minutes, even going and getting a drink of water or something like that. For older kids, our middle school through college age kids, getting up and moving at least every 45 to 60 minutes. Beyond 60 minutes, none of us, even as adults, is able to really focus and process and retain information. So taking even a 5-minute break to go for a little walk around the office or the house, just getting up and moving will help that studying process and that homework process move along much more effectively.
So not more than an hour for even folks like us.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
That explains a lot about my work habits
you
here.
learn something about yourself,
and phones and iPads and computers.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all very useful. How can people reach out to you if, you know, they have more questions?
Yeah, absolutely. So my clinic is Horizons Developmental Resource Center. We're located in the Kentwood, Caledonia area, and it's horizonsdrc.com.
All right.
Very good. Hey, one more question before you go, because I know we touched this on the last hour.
Yeah.
The pressure from parents for the kids to really, you know, drive home A's, and sometimes that's unrealistic.
Absolutely, and I think the focus really needs to be on what the child's personal best is in each subject area and striving to continue to get a little better than they were before with that, and putting forth good effort, but not necessarily focused on a particular grade, because the more stress we put on kids, the more anxiety they develop, and that is really counterproductive for learning, for studying, for academic growth. So just easing up on the whole thing. We want our kids to achieve, we want them to learn these skills, and that's great, but finding some balance there too, and making sure that we are providing time in those after school and evening hours for them to do some enjoyable downtime things as well. Really important for kids' development.
Really